Conrad confronts Eddie as he wakes up in his room at the beginning of episode 9. Although their conversation takes place off-screen, it is revealed that during the previously mentioned dinner, Eddie gave his grandfather, who initially had many of his own suspicions, confirmation of everything Maeve had been planning. At first glance, it seems odd that Eddie would give up his biggest supporter because Conrad persuaded him to do so, since Maeve has apparently always looked out for him. Nonetheless, some information is revealed in the brief scene where Eddie asks the dog which of them is having a worse time. Eddie feels totally stuck in his current predicament, torn between his grandfather and grandmother, just as the dog was penned up. Even though Maeve seems to care about him, his fear of Conrad probably overshadowed his loyalty there. He was raised on the legend of Conrad the Dread, 100 Guns Harrigan, the most feared criminal boss in London. Eddie knows what will happen if he doesn't comply with Conrad's demands, so they take precedence. Conrad calls the young man son when he first enters Eddie's bedroom, which could just be a friendly or grandfatherly slang term. It might, however, be a fleeting hint as to Eddie's true identity, that he is, in fact, Conrad's son with Bella Harrigan. The audience is aware that Conrad was with Bella when she was only 20 and Conrad was over 50 years old prior to her marriage to Kevin. The idea is further supported by the fact that Eddie and Conrad are more alike in personality than his assumed father, Kevin. Furthermore, when Alan Rusby, his former prison guard, brought up Kevin's child in episode 9, Kevin reacted angrily. After Maeve's reference to Kevin's other brother in episode 8, that is the second time Kevin has lost control. The other brother, Maeve mentions, might inherit the Harrigan empire, according to the widely held belief that Eddie Harrigan is Conrad's son rather than Kevin's. But it's odd that Maeve would be so protective of Eddie if he's actually Conrad's illegitimate child. One would think she would despise him as much as she despises Serafina. But when you consider everything Maeve has encouraged Eddie to do, the whole situation begins to make sense. Maeve persuaded him to murder Tommy Stevenson, which only served to endanger his life as the primary object of Richie Stevenson's wrath. She also put him in his grandfather's crosshairs by making him complicit in her schemes against Conrad. The likelihood that Eddie isn't the adored grandson Maeve wants him to appear to be is higher. Given that Eddie was given more protection because he was considered Bella and Kevin's legitimate son, Maeve may actually be pulling a long-term scam. It's obvious that Eddie, being a white man, is meant to be the family's future, so rather than shielding and supporting him, Maeve might be working against him in MobLand. Furthermore, there is no reason why Maeve would permit his daughter to become close to her grandson, who is aware of all of her secrets, since she has zero faith in Harry Da Souza. It makes sense that Maeve wouldn't want Gina to become any closer to the Harrigans' inner circle than Harry already is, since she has already planted the seeds that Harry is a traitor in order to confuse Conrad. In addition to their intelligence and insight, Harry and Gina are the kind of people the cunning Maeve would prefer to keep at a distance. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.